I'm going to show you a list of five of my favorite books to read for entertainment. Because I feel, and I know, that today we live in a world where you only read for productivity. You don't read for entertainment anymore. And also YouTube and social media is like our only forms of entertainment that we become so closed off to books and getting engaged to a full story and reading something. So I'm going to show you five of my favorite books for entertainment. And they're not in any particular order, but the first one is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you haven't read it, it's a good one. I love the story. I love sci-fi stories where in this book it's so technical. There are so many tiny details that are so good. I'm not going to spoil too much, but the towel. I'll use that as an example. I carry a towel around with me all the time. And I got that from this book. Not for any particular reason, but I find it's an awesome belief to have just cuz. And I love reading, like, sci-fi isn't my favorite franchise. I wouldn't say this is my favorite book, but it's definitely a fun book to read because it takes you out of reality. And it's a very much a sci-fi book, and it's about the Earth getting destroyed, and then these guys hitchhiking across the galaxy. That's why it's called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Then, the next book I'm going to show you is the book I Want to Go Home by Gordon Cumming. And this is what the cover looks like. But this book I really enjoyed a lot. It's about two kids. Two kids go to summer school, and they hate summer school. They both hate it. So they do their best to try to get out of summer school, and it's kind of like on an island. So they try to escape the summer school by building, they do create multiple plans, but they build a boat. These kids build a boat and then sail across the sea to get to land. So that way they can get away from the camp. I love the story so much because it's so interesting and has so many interesting turns, and it's such a good read, and I love it. Now the next book I want to read is more of a book for beneficial purposes, but I also like to read it just because it's like fun to read, and it's a mix of both. It's like good to read, and it's also not good to read, and it's kind of a kid's book, and it's made by Jocko Willink. Way of the Warrior Kid, and this is the third one. I also have the first one. I haven't gotten the second one, but I've heard that one's good, and I have the fourth one. This book, I love the story of Merrick, the main character, starting out as a weak boy, alright? And then slowly progressing with the help of his Navy SEAL uncle, Jake, with the help of his uncle, to become a much stronger kid. Way of the Warrior Kid. The fourth book I want to show you is The Life of Pi. This is such an awesome story. It's one of my favorite books. Seriously, I love this book because the story is about a guy who's like in a shipwreck, and then he's on this boat for like a year with a tiger. It's him and a tiger stuck on this boat for a year. How do you do that? That's ridiculous. And it goes into so much depth and detail about it, and it's so interesting. It's such an interesting book. Check all of these books out if you can. They're all super good. And the last one, The Boy Who Became a Dragon. Now this one's more of a comic book, less of a read book like the other ones, but this one I seriously enjoy because it's comic books I like for you reading for entertainment because it's less thinking. But also because, like, you know, you can actually see what happens, and it creates. Sometimes comic books are better than like novels, and this is because you can actually be shown like emotion. You can be shown different varieties of colors that can give emotion. There's so much art in comic books. That's why I love them. So, and this book, it's about Bruce Lee, and gotten a lot of knowledge out of this, and it's also just so fun to read. So I'll list off all the names. The Boy Who Became a Dragon, The Life of Pi, Way of the Warrior Kid, I Want to Go Home, and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Check all of those books out. They're all very good. And the main purpose of this was to try to bring some light to books, for reading books for entertainment, because I feel like there are so many books that when we think of books, we just think, oh, we have to do work, and I hate work, so I hate books. And I don't like that way of thinking about it. School has fucked books. It screwed over books, and we're all screwed, okay? Nobody likes books because of school. But also because we use our brains too much. And people don't like using their brains. But we gotta get over that first, before we can truly start to enjoy books. And they're so fun to read. So practice reading books. And don't worry too much about reading books solely for productivity. Once you get good at reading books, you can start reading them for entertainment. Or just start reading them for entertainment. It's better than YouTube or in social media. So, I'll see you in the next video. You got this, bro.